Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Hedge Racing League. We are here for round number 9. I had to check then. Round number 9 of 14 in season 5 for this year's instalment of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's the 5th time in 5 seasons we've been to Brazil. It's the present on the Hedge Racing League calendar. Unfortunately, our lowest turnout of the season tonight. It's a really disappointing turnout. So I can only apologise to all the drivers that have been bothered to turn up. In fairness, some people have had, as KXI gets disqualified already for blocking the pit lane. I don't know what's happened there. He was very harsh. He's coming out of the pit, so I don't know how he can be disqualified for that. But there's one out already. We are expecting 2 more at the very least in Q1. J Law and Madison are on their way, so we should, in fairness, have at least 2 more. I believe one more is also trying to join, so potentially still 18. But it's a disappointing turnout, but we have to roll with it. Good evening as always to my, I say co-commentator, he's the main commentator this season. He's been here more than me. Good evening to Matt.
Evening, mate.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad you're on time as well. I've missed you, mate. You've been sunning it up in I don't know where you've been, Benidorm.
Benidorm. Yeah.
I hope you've come back with a mean tan and you're ready to get stuck back into the HRL. Yeah.
It certainly wasn't a mean tan, mate. It was more of a more of a rainy week. But it didn't rain in the bar, and it was nice to get away. So I do apologise for the last couple of weeks not being here. Thank you to Matt and to Fandango, who's also covered over the past couple of weeks. Really do appreciate it as always. I know we didn't have one last week, unfortunately, a stream. Both of us were unavailable last week, which is a shame for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The first time all season has been no stream for Bahrain, but we'll run through the results, the standings, etc. from last week. There's not many races left to go now, Matt. We are suddenly coming towards the business end of the season. It's gone very, very quick this season. I remember us being sat in Monza for the pre-season race and then Belgium for the opening race, and it seems to have flown by since then. So it's gone very quick this season. There is quite a few reserves on track tonight as well, so we'll try and bring you up to speed. It's quite confusing tonight. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of reserves, quite a lot of the main drivers not been able to make it. We'll go through it all as Jack Prix crosses the line in second. Both Alpines the first 2 to set a lap. So yeah, it's a bit different tonight, Matt, with a few different reserves and whatnot. But very quickly, I know he wasn't here last week. None of us managed to do the stream, but Liam Craig in the Red Bull, it's his second ever race. He raced last week as a reserve driver in the Haas. He got a podium and driver of the day, so he's one to watch out for.
He certainly is. I think it's worth us getting the results up just for everybody to catch up on what happened. Obviously, like I say, you were away last week. I'm sure I had COVID. I felt absolutely awful. Kept testing negative, but I had no voice. So yeah, the results from last race are on stream. Jerome went and won the race once again, back on form after a shaky couple of races. If to be fair, second is a shaky race for Jerome. He's just that good. But yeah, you're right. Liam did reserve, got P2 ahead of AJ, who was P3. DC with a solid P4. Nathan, who has been up there in the last couple of races before that, winning them, getting a couple of poles as well. Only made P5. J Luke P6. Bailiff reserved P7. Mr. BT reserved P8. J Hartnell reserved P9. AFL P10. Then it was Bailiff, Hobbsy, Bowie, the little one, and Cammy were the final classified finishers. We had 5 retirements from that race. So, sounded exciting, even though we both missed it.
Hey, these things happen, don't we? We're both busy over the year. It's going to happen eventually. It's a rarity. I mentioned it's a poor turnout. I've got 16 and 2 more due to join, so 18's not too bad. And to be fair, one of the seats tonight, the Haas of Jay Wills, is a race ban. He wasn't allowed to race, and neither was anybody else. So technically speaking, we're only going to get a maximum of 19 tonight. As long as J Law and Max can get in the session, we'll have 18. So to be fair, it's only one vacant seat. It's not as bad as what it looked at first. So 18 is not a bad turnout at all, Matt, in the end, considering there was only, a maximum of 19. It's only one car empty if you don't include the Haas that's had a race ban.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's nice to see a couple of reserves as well, because gives someone else a chance, doesn't it? To
100%.
Are we calling him ESW or Junior ESW?
I'm going to call him ESW.
Right.
Or Junior or JR, whichever you prefer, mate.
Yeah.
Whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I've just seen him off track in Sector 2, but I think he may have just been letting a couple of drivers through. But he's looking good in the Ferrari. Of course, Ferrari on a roll, especially in real life, actually. P3 at the
starting on
moment.
a fire, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. Got some good drivers in tonight, haven't we? Especially from the CRL. A really, really good looking field actually tonight.
Yes.
Do you know what the weather's
Well,
like, Hedge? Have you ever got a weather? Cause
I don't actually. I'm not too sure.
Ooh.
It's Jack Priddy at turn 1, I think that is. Retired on track. There's no one near him. There's a McLaren of J. Luke coming down the main straight towards the Alpine, and he is off track in the middle of the track
Whoa.
as well. And that's probably just screwed up J. Luke's lap. Of course, it's not Jack Priddy's fault that it screwed up J. Luke's lap. It's a very unfortunate event. But Jack Priddy out, and he's not going to be into Q2. Now, we are expecting, as I mentioned, 2 more to join throughout Q1. They aren't allowed to set laps if they join in Q1. So, still potential for... Oh, it's J. Luke has a spin as well, and very luckily for him, he doesn't retire the car. We're going to go through the reserves very quickly, Matt, because we've got quite a few tonight, the most of the season so far. So Liam Craig is in the Red Bull tonight, I believe. It's only his second ever race. I mentioned how well he did last week in the Haas, a driver day performance and a podium on his first race. Mr. BT also raced last week. He's very well known in the Cone Racing League. He's in the Williams tonight, replacing AFL. Ariel Nathan, also making a hedge racing lead debut tonight. He's in the Alfa Romeo, replacing Alex Dobson tonight. We've got Fandango in the McLaren of 8, replacing Jack Bowie. We've got ESW in the Ferrari, replacing Mazzles. And we've got, I think we all know Mark very well, don't we? Ariel Mark in the Aston Martin, who famously, Matt, you may remember in Brazil of Cone last year, thought he had pole position, and he didn't get it in the end, did he, with that famous quote?
Yes.
When he thought he had pole, and it didn't quite work out. It's a Cone Racing League meme. It's in the history books in Cone, but he's back in Brazil tonight for his first ever race in Edge Racing League. Now, people look at the constructor standings, Matt, and see Aston Martin at the top. No Riordan tonight, but Mark gets the reserve seat. I mean, it's not a bad replacement, is it?
No, not at all. Looking at the constructors, Aston Martin. I don't know if the gap's as big as it was previously. Williams have closed it, I think, a little bit. It's like 59 points, I think, the gap. Williams in P2. Haas only 8 points behind in P3. So it's actually quite a nice little battle in the constructors. And then there's a bit of a gap to McLaren in 4th on 98. Then another little gap between Alfa Romeo. Ferrari only 1 point behind Alfa Romeo, though. So a little battle there. And Mercedes and Red Bull aren't too far behind them as well. Alpine and AlphaTauri especially sort of cut off a little bit from the back of the constructors. But yeah, I think Aston Martin, a bit of pressure maybe getting put on them. But yeah, Mark's not a bad replacement in the Aston Martin. Up the Aston Martin. Still have a soft spot for them, don't we? Still have a soft spot for them.
We always do, mate.
Yeah.
We always do. That'll never go away.
No.
A quick mention as well to the Mercedes of Bailey. He's reserved a few times this season, but he's now a permanent driver in the Mercedes, replacing Mark Wilson. So Bailey, no longer a reserve. He's raced a few times this season. He's got 12 points, I believe, as a reserve driver. Them 12 points will stay with him, but he's now a permanent Mercedes alongside Jay Lawler. So Bailey can no longer a reserve. Little one's putting wets, and I hope he's not sticking with them wets. I don't think he'll get too far on them. There's 8 minutes to Q1. As I said, we are expecting 2 more to join, which could spice up the latter stages of Q1 if they get in, hopefully before the end of this first session. I don't know about the weather, Matt, but I've not been told anything regarding the rain. Any rain or anything
No,
like that?
I mean, if the clouds in Quali or anything to go off, it looks like it's a beautiful day in Interlagos. Obviously, around Brazil, you can have a scorching hot weather. You can have absolute monsoon weather. It really is. Look at the draw. So I'm gonna see if there is any weather update. I think you've put a message in already. Hobbsy is going to get back to us actually on the weather. I have a feeling it's going to be dry, but I mean Brazil.
I feel like we'd have known, wouldn't we, in the chat if it were wet. I think someone would have put it in.
Yeah, Hobbsy is typing though for a will rain.
Ooh.
That's why little one's got his inters ready.
Will rain at some point during quality, but we're expecting a dry race. Interesting. We're going to go through, of course, the history of the Brazilian Grand Prix, the constructors' standings, the drivers' standings. They're all ready to. Well, they're all here on my phone. I'm sure Matt's got them as well, ready to go through them as we progress through quality. There's still 7 minutes to go in Q1. To be fair, it's not really a battle at the moment in terms of who's going through and who's not, because Jack Priddy and Cake Pie both out. So it's not really much going on in Q1, but it's a chance for the driver to set some laps, get up to speed with the track, and get prepared for what will be more of a difficult Q2. Especially, as mentioned, if Jay Lawler and Vipers can join. Of course, they have to join in Q1 to be able to go in Q2. So they're getting us to cook a little bit here, these two, and I'm sure they want to get in very, very soon. but we will see. We've got 7 minutes to go, and only time will tell us whether they make it or not.
Exactly. I'm looking in the comments. A couple of people in. Nathan doing his best impression of Unai Emery, saying good evening. Good evening. Mrs. Matt's in the chat as well. Evening, guys. Thanks, Mrs. Matt. Where's Mrs. Edge, by the way? Mrs. Edge?
I just sent her a link now. Sent her a link. She's on her way.
I'm going to say we can't be having her missing out, can we? Should be in the bad books. Ethan, I think Ethan. Ethan Limmy. Ethan Willett. I can't remember which one of the drivers he is.
Ethan Willett is a little one.
Little one, right. He did say you were a little bit quiet at first, but I think that sounds fine now, looking at my streaming.
Quiet.
Yeah, it looks
Doesn't
like...
seem right, doesn't it?
Hedge is never quiet. But no, that's... it looks like that's all fine now. He also did jump in and said that it's completely dry. I'm assuming he's meaning the race. And Callan Bartlett, I'm assuming that's KXI, said, my game glitched, wouldn't let me accelerate in the pit lane. That's so unlucky.
It's funny you should say that because Jack Priddy's also lagged out in the pit lane, so is he a couple of pit lane bugs tonight? Cole Masters bugs? Never. No chance.
Yeah, unbeliable. Can't believe it.
Let's, I think what we'll do, Matt, first of all, it's been a few weeks since we've been together, isn't it? It seems strange.
I know, that's why I was ill last week. I was suffering with lack of hedge.
Jack Priddy's back in, so there you go. He must have left and rejoined. I know it was strange, wasn't it, not being together for a few weeks, but we are back. It's funny because I missed the Bahrain commentary. I actually raced a week before in Saudi Arabia on the wheel. It didn't last very long, but last time I commentated was in Imola with you, I believe, which was the day of the Manchester derby when City beat United. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
But it's nice to be back. Let's just have a bit of a recap then. So we are currently it's a 14 race season in season 5. This is your race number 9. So after tonight, only 5 more races. We'll to Canada next week, Austria the week after, which is the second sprint race of the season. That'll be fun doing a sprint race in Austria. Can't wait for that. Then it's the Marmite race in Spain. Either love it or hate it. Finishing off then with a street circuit in Azerbaijan, and potentially a title-winning race on his home Grand Prix for Jeroen in Netherlands.
Oh, that's dreaming
it. The 1st of May, so it's a while away. But after tonight, Matt, only 5 more races. It's getting to that stage now where it's coming to an end very quickly.
I know it's quite sad, isn't it? It's quite sad how quickly this season's gone.
Emotional.
But yeah, Jeroen just needs to have another 2 or 3 clean races, and I think he'll be over the line. I think we were maybe thinking Nathan might be able to unsettle him a little bit.
Yeah.
As I've just got the calendar up on screen there for everyone to see. But yeah, we were hoping that maybe Nathan could unsettle him and put a bit of pressure on. But I think that win in Bahrain, which we unfortunately missed, like I say, might be the difference. That might just get Jeroen enough points. I think he needed maybe another shaky race, Nathan, to outscore him again in Bahrain to close that gap. But we'll get the championship. We'll get the championship. Have a look at that.
Well, I think you've got to credit and give Nathan a lot of credit because although he might just fall short and then he's done a heck of a job because at one point in the season, Matt, we were sat after about 4 or 5 races looking at Jeroen's points tally thinking no one's going to get anywhere near him. Then Nathan won a couple of races. Nathan's got 3 race wins so far this season, which is again when you get someone like Jeroen, not to mention the rest of the group, which is ridiculous. It's some going, and to be fair, it's done all he can in terms of putting that pressure on Vipers. On Jeroen. I remember the race back in China, which was incredible. That last lap battle between Jeroen, Jay Lawler, and Nathan winning that race right at the death. And I think, listen, although he's still is it 57 points, I believe, behind Jeroen. It's a big gap with only 5 or 6 races to go. But a win tonight, a DNF for Jeroen, he closes that gap again. You just never know, do you? And I think, I mean, is it a 2-horse race for the title now? I don't want to rule anybody out, but I'd be shocked if anyone by Jeroen or Nathan won this championship. Now, of course, Viper's a back-to-back champion. He's dominated this league for 2 seasons, but even he's fell short this season. He's missed a couple of races. J Law's not been at his best, missed a few races. AJ, to be fair, a couple of podiums, Matt. He's another one that started to pick up the last couple of weeks. AJ, a few podiums to his name. DC as well, a couple of podiums. So it's been. If you look at the amount of podiums it's been a nice mix. There's a few reserve drivers not on the standings, the likes of Liam and Captain Limmy that have also got podiums. So it's been a nice mixture. But Jeroen, in fairness, has been so consistent, hasn't he? Every single week, he's got on the podium pretty much every week.
Yeah, he has. It's unbelievable consistency, and it is a shame because I think Vipers. has missed more races, I think, than he would have liked, and I think if he'd have attended more races, he could have been up there. Did have a 2 or 3 race spell where he made a few mistakes strategically, you know, span out a few times, and that might have just, lost him the ground, and that might have, you know, knocked his motivation a little bit. The same with Joe Lawler, if he'd have attended a few more races, could have been up there. But yeah, it's between Jerome and Nathan, and if Nathan was to come from behind at this stage, then I think it would be maybe the greatest title win in HRL history if he somehow turned it round from here. But I think Jerome will be celebrating a championship in Netherlands. I just can't see how he's going to drop points or DNF, but you never know.
Well, incredibly, 8 races into the season, he's had a podium in every single race. He's had 5 wins, a P2 and 2 P3s. He's been on the podium every single week. I mean, that run could potentially end. I mean, surely it will end at one point during this season, but I mean, it's a staggering run. And I mean, at the moment, he looks pretty much unstoppable, doesn't it? It looks very, very hard to sort of, I mean, surely not. Surely he can't throw it away now. But you never know. You never know in F1. Stranger things have happened. So we will see. There's a minute to go. Less than a minute to go. So J-Lo and Vipers can, Matt, if they do join, will be starting right at the back tonight. There'll be no qualifying at the front for them. As the other Nathan at the moment is the quickest in Q1, the Ariel Nathan replacing Alex Dobson. We mentioned obviously the battle for the top, which looks pretty much not done and dusted, but there's a big gap. The gaps after that, though, were quite interesting because Vipers 74 points, J-Law 59, AJ 56, DC 55, Jack Bowie 50, Alex Dobson 49, J-Luke 48. So it's a few that were not here tonight, but the gap for that third place in the championship is wide open.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think the couple of drivers, AJ tonight, will be definitely thinking that this is an opportunity for him to climb into the top 3. Might want to put a bit of pressure on his brother potentially. It's a chance for him. It's a chance for DC as well. Because I think AJ and DC are here tonight. Obviously, Jay Lawler might join late, but after that, a little one, maybe the next driver, Jay Luke's in there as well, looking to take advantage. So if you attend the races, then you get the benefit. So be interested to see how these guys get on tonight with, I guess, the battle for third. Because, again, I mean, the gap between Vipers and Nathan's almost just as big between the gap between Nathan and AJ. So you could say the top 2 are pretty much guaranteed. So the battle for third's looking juicy.
The Constructors' Championship also favouring Euro, as you'd expect, and the Aston Martin team with 5 wins and 2/3. Riordan, who started the season in really good form, to be fair, has dropped off a little bit. He's not here tonight, but you will not complain with your own being his teammate and carrying him towards that Constructors title, that's for sure. But Aston Martin at the moment looking pretty much set in stone to win the Constructors title. They're on 183 points. Williams just behind them 124. AFL, to be fair, and even Nathan have worked together well this season. Hassim third, but of course suffering tonight. They've got only one driver. That's like if he joins in time, but at the moment knows that I was last night. That could hinder their P3. McLaren in 4th, Alfa Romeo 5th, Ferrari in 6th, Mercedes, Red Bull, Alpine and AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri had a torrid season this year, of course. Pio's had connection issues. KXI getting to grips with the wheels, not quite worked out for him. Not been AlphaTauri season as of yet, Matt. There's been 8 teams out of the 9 that have had at least, out of the 10 have had at least one podium, which is some going.
It's
good to see that 8 teams had a podium.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? And I think the battle for the Constructors is still very much on. You look at that. McLaren, Alfa, Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull could all completely swap positions within one race weekend. So I think as well for Haas in P3, they've got a bit of a gap, but they could certainly drop into a midfield battle as well with lack of drivers. What is Jay Will's... what is the reason for that? Is it just not attending? He's had a really poor attendance this season. So if you don't turn up for a certain amount of races, mixed with a couple of incidents as well, that sort of marked the penalty points where he had a race ban. So, but it means that if he has a race ban, you can't fill that seat. Similar to Cone, it's not just him suffering; it's the team. So hopefully back next week. But it just meant that Haas only had one driver for tonight. Similar to today in real life, of course, different circumstances, but Haas only having one driver
on the grid today. Kevin Magnussen doing a great job again to get points for Haas. He's having a great start to the season, Kevin, to be fair to him. But I mean, who's your? I mean, looking at it tonight, of course, it's strange because there's a few reserves. It's a bit of a mashed up grid between permanent drivers and reserve drivers. Not a full grid either. However, we should be very, very close when there's Vipers and Jay Lawler join. Who's your really favourite? Are you still backing your own to win? Or do you think one of the reserves could provide a shock tonight?
Well, I think obviously you backed your own. You'd be stupid not to, but Liam could definitely ruffle the top two. I'd be interested to see how Nathan gets on after finishing fifth, of course, from Bahrain. Can he bounce back? And there's a couple of really quick guys in quali. I know Fandango, Danny, he can put together a really quick lap if he hooks it up. Hobbsy as well. J. Luke, we've seen how quick he can be in qualifying. So, yeah, we'll see. I think you've got to back your own, but you never know.
I'll tell you someone who surprised me this season, and not necessarily a good surprise, is Hobbsy, because I know how quick Hobbsy is. He's been an ever-present in this league since season one. He's been a runner-up to the championship on a couple of occasions. He's always been in the mix. But I'm looking at him so far this season. But this is weird because he's raced every race. He's not missed one race. He's 100% attendance this season, yet he's only on 29 points. I know Hobbs is a bit disappointed with himself there. He's more than capable. He's a race winner in this league. He's got many podiums. The runner-up in the championship. He's been here since season one. But he's having, on paper at the moment, his worst season in the league to date, which is disappointing. Now, I looked at Hobbs and Alex Dobson and thought, what a team. Remember Alex Dobson, Matt? He started off in great form, got a podium, 2 driver of the week performances in a row. So driver of the day performances in a row. Of course, not here tonight, but Hobbsy down in 11th in the championship, only on 29 points. He has got a podium, to be fair, this season, a P2 in a race. But I'm just kind of waiting for Hobbsy to sort of, show us what he can do, get that big result, get a race win, get a podium again. And look, the grid is so difficult. It's tough, but I know he can push for race wins, obviously. I'm just kind of waiting for that moment in a race where he gets that win, gets that podium again, and gets back up the ladder.
Yeah, and it could be all it takes is one good result, and then your confidence is up, and then suddenly you might find yourself getting back-to-back podiums, wins, like Nathan. Nathan, to be fair, he's one of the quicker drivers. He was sort of in and around the mix at the start of the season. Now suddenly, I think, what was it, 3 wins, or two or 3 wins, or he was up there in the top 2 and had a good run of form, and that's put him sort of not in the title picture, but he started to put a bit of pressure on Girona a little bit. So all it takes is one good result, and then suddenly you've got confidence, and you're a different driver. Because obviously Tier 3 this year, for example, if you just can't get going, it just becomes so difficult, doesn't it?
You struggle for motivation as well. That's what I found. The more races when the longer it goes on, and you have a bit of bad luck, and it's hard to sort of pick yourself back up. You need that one good result to sort of get you going again. Let's have a quick look at previous Brazilian Grand Prix winners in the league. So it was won for 2 years in a row in Season 1 and Season 2 by ESW or Chris Panda. He had a dominant start to life in this league, and he won both for the first 2 Brazilian Grand Prix in this league. Then it was won by AJ Brewer, and I remember that race, first race of Season 3. Obviously, you won't hear them, Matt, but on that night, it was the opening night of Season 3. Brewer had never had a podium in this league, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he won the first race of the season against all the odds. It was like David and Goliath. He beat Viper and Jay Lawler to the win. It was ridiculous. Hobbsy on that night did get a P2, so maybe Hobbsy's night could be tonight to get on the podium. Now, Jay Lawler's never won a race in Brazil. He has, however, had 2 podiums in the 4 races, so again, maybe it favours Jay Lawler. He's not here yet, of course. We'll be starting at the back if he joins in time. And last year's winner in this league was Mr. J. Luke in the McLaren tonight. He was also in the McLaren last season, Matt, so he's won a race here in McLaren before. Can he do it again? He was also on the podium with KXI and Hobbsy. Could it be the same podium again? Who knows? Maybe. Why not?
Could be.
Why not?
And I think there's I've seen races around this track in Corn and many others where you can get quite a few safety cars. Couple of corners can really throw you off track. The first 2 corners aren't easy. Turn 4, catching the outside curb can spin the car. Couple of really awkward traction zones as well. So that there can easily be incidents, easily be safety cars, which could completely throw the throw the race upside down. Looking at the starting tyres, I think Fandango and J. Luke, the two McLarens, did look like they wanted to give the mediums a run, but nowhere near the pace on the medium tyres. So I think very much is going to be softs for everybody. And I think strategy-wise, I think it is a one-stop around Brazil, but it's one of them where you can take the softs and you can do a soft medium, but the mediums will really struggle towards the end. You can go safe with a soft hard, so safety car might help the soft medium strategy. But again, safety cars and the timing of them could completely change that. A couple of guys might try and maybe go medium soft outside the top 10. We'll have to see.
You know what time it's for, Matt? It's time for some education. Missed it on the last couple of weeks, haven't we? It's back.
I've been starved of my education.
It is back. So, quiz question first of all. Which driver has won the Brazilian Grand Prix the most? Now, it's not just Sao Paulo, it's the Brazilian Grand Prix as a whole in the history of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Any guesses, Matt?
How many times has this person won?
They've won it 6 times.
6?
Yes. Now, I'll give you a clue. It's not Lewis Hamilton or Michael Schumacher that it is normally. It's somebody else. Do I see rain on track? I do.
I was just looking at J. Luke's onboard and I thought, and this is what the guys who went on the mediums,
at risk,
wasted time, and now they've got to try and get a soft tyre. J. Luke's still out on the mediums, so I think he could be in trouble getting knocked out here. Danny's gonna have to put a lap in quite quickly. Fandango, he's up by only 100th. Getting a lap in early might be the might have been the key. But back to your question, I have I'm going to say Senna just because it was his home race.
Senna has won here twice.
Oh, right.
It's actually Prost.
Prost, right? Okay.
Yeah. 90, 82, 84, 85, 87, 88 and 1990. So he won here 6 times in 8 years. He loved Brazil.
Bloody hell, that's a fantastic record, isn't it?
Michael Schumacher has the best record at Interlagos with 4 wins here. As you'd expect. It's normally Schumacher Hamilton, isn't it? Them two dominated.
Yeah.
With Ferrari winning 9 times here, the most successful constructible. DC third, ESW in 4th. So at the moment, Ferrari looking pretty good to make it happen tonight as well. So, bit of education, mate. You can't beat education. 5 Brazilian drivers, by the way, have won this Grand Prix as well. So it has been known to be a nice track for the home drivers as well. We ain't got any Brazilians tonight, so that won't happen. That won't be happening tonight.
It won't, as AJ just gets himself into Q3 at the moment. 2 laps he put on them softs. So if he gets through, he's going to be starting on 2-lap old soft tyres, which might not be ideal. But he squeezed through. Obviously, the rain is causing people to not set as much quick times as the track will be getting damper. But surprisingly, the man who I said possibly a favourite up there, we know how quick he is, Liam. I don't think he's going to have time. He's invalidated again. He's off track. He's hit the wall. And he is going to be, I'd say, shock elimination out of Q2. Fandango couldn't go quicker. J. Luke just didn't get the soft tyres on in time. The little one retired early, I think, and was knocked out by AJ. So, the rain, I think, has caused a couple of shocks, actually. Look at Bailiff. Bailiff set a quicker lap than Giron. That's a cracking lap from Bailiff.
Well, I was going to say...
Wow.
I was going to mention first ever podiums, of course. 1 race, 1 podium for Liam. Now, Brazil has given real-life drivers their first ever podium. Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz got their first ever F1 podiums in Brazil. Could Bailiff get his first ever Hedge Racing League podium in Brazil tonight? Well, at the moment, he's certainly in the mix. I have mentioned that P11 spot before, Matt, so little one could be that one to keep an eye out on the mediums, couldn't he, in that P11 spot?
He could be, because there's a couple of drivers in the top 10 who've got through and they've put a couple of laps on the tyres. AJ 2 laps. Hobbsy's put 3 laps on his soft, which I think he'll be starting on. Nathan 3 laps. Ariel Nathan 2 laps. DC 3 laps. And like I say, it's a one-stop round here. With you don't want to. You could do the soft medium, but
he's trying it. The majority have retired in the pit, so the rain's clearly here to stay, and he's the only one on track. He's doing his absolute best to try and get himself out of that bottom spot. But I mean, it's going to take some doing, Matt, in this rain now.
Yeah, he needs just under a second to get himself through. I mean, this would be. I mean, I'm on board because I just want to see how he does this. This would be like a pole. It'd have to be a pole level type of lap. But yeah, the rain just causing a couple of late problems. Fair play to him for trying. But to be fair, if you see that it's going to rain late on in Q2, I wouldn't have went on the mediums. I'd get that soft tyre lap in before it started raining, so you're a bit more sure. But yeah, here he goes, Hedge. Let's see if he can pull off a bit of a miracle.
I mean, I remember back in Belgium when the rain come down and it caused a bit of a stir on the opening night of the season in quali, and at one point we thought Ariel would get pulled. It was Nathan in the end who got it for doing a brilliant strategy. This would be an unreal strategy. Now, to be fair, DRS is still enabled. He's flying down the straight with his back wing open, so it does help him out a little bit, but already you can see he is slower through that first sector. It looked like an nearly impossible task, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's game over. And obviously, DRS open on a wet track or a track that's getting wetter isn't the greatest because it destabilises the back end a little bit and, can put you at risk of losing the car. But, yeah, he's trying his best. Fair play to him. But, you know what? He's got a free choice of tyre for the race. As
he's gone.
Oh, yeah. Just caught that.
Hey, star for effort, though.
Yeah.
He had nothing to lose, did he? He had nothing to lose.
No, he's doing donuts now. It's a good job these aren't his starting tyres. It's absolutely.
Do I blame him for doing it? Not at all. You know, you're gonna he had nothing to lose, did he? Like you say, so no harm in it.
I'm just enjoying him doing a couple of donuts, couple of shapes on track.
We mentioned the reserve of Liam last week getting a podium driver of the day. We didn't mention the other reserve, Mr. BT, who in his Hedge Racing League debut got pole position last week. Now he's pole again at the moment, so is it 2 poles in 2 races for Mr. BT? I mean, potentially, why not?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Though these guys could upset the likes of Jerome. They could just intervene in that top end of the grid and maybe cause the likes of Jerome to lose a few points. And that could be the difference. You know, a couple of quicker drivers out front could cause a few more challenges for some of the title contenders. And if these guys can get a seat for next season, it's looking like, you know, the grid for next season's Hedge Racing League could be, well, the standard's just getting
even tastier.
Oh, the standard of this league's just getting better and better, isn't it? Some of the drivers who are coming in.
If you're J Law Vipers Ken, you will not be happy with a premature enter Q2 because it's making it less and less likely they're going to get in time. That ended 2 minutes early due to the weather, so we are going to be into Q3 a little bit earlier than expected, and it is Little One, Liam, and both McLaren, Fandangle and J. Luke that have not made it through. Bailiff, I'd say the surprise name in the pack there in Q3. Could we see a Bailiff pole? Strange things happen in this league, let me tell you, so maybe a Bailiff pole position, but Vibes Ken and J. Law on that are slowly running out of time here to get in before lights out. I mean, there's 12 minutes? And it's a rainy quali as well! For pole! That is just what I want to see as a commentator. I want to get a quick drink, Matt. I'll be literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. Intermediates in Q3, and it could be a case of if it's going to get wetter and the track's going to get worse, it could be a case of who can put a lap down as soon as possible, who can put a lap down the quickest. Not too sure. I know the drivers did say it will rain in Q3. I don't know if it is going to gradually get worse. You'd assume it probably would. So yeah, it could be who can get out quickest, set a lap the quickest while the track's at its, I'm not going to say driest, but this could be sometimes you can find shock results just due to timing. As ESW has lost the car as he caught it. What a catch that was. He's drifted his way around turn 4. As even on the outlap, he almost lost it. What a catch that was. That was like a full-on drift. How his rear end didn't completely spin out on him and he faced the wrong way there, I have no idea. That was an incredible drift. But a good catch all the same. That puts Hobbsy... No, it doesn't. It puts his teammate, actually, Ariel Nathan, at the front. So, if he can put a lap down quickly, as you see, a couple of drivers are fighting and jostling for position on track there. I think AJ's just jumped to Williams to try and get ahead. Jump Mr. BT. Mark as well, Ariel Mark in a bit of a hurry to get himself to the front of the queue. As DC now might be one of the first, actually. No, the two Ferraris are ahead. As Ariel Nathan is going to be the first to set a lap. So yeah, we'll see how his lap is with the track conditions as well. Looks like just light rain for now, but DRS yet, of course, completely disabled. So here he goes then down into turn 4. Takes it nice and easy, don't invalidate on the exit. Could have took a bit more of the exit there actually. So maybe a bit of time to be found there on the exit of turn 4. These two corners are normally pretty flat, but we've got to obviously lift, not invalidate on the exit of that corner. Don't want to invalidate here on the inside of that corner as well. A couple of really, really tough corners where you can easily invalidate your lap time. Difficult uphill there with the traction. Easy to spin in these sort of conditions. I think he's front left may have brushed the grass as well on the outside there, which won't have helped Bailiff back in the pits. So I don't know if he's maybe had an incident, damaged a front wing or something. As Nathan sets a quick sector 2, so he's looking good, despite maybe not optimising his lap completely. I think you can just about keep it flat through the final so-called corner, but it is completely flat. He's not hugging the left-hand side though, so he's pulling out to the right, a 15.8 for Nathan. Hobbsy's invalidated his lap there as ESW only goes second. DC does put it third, but then Ariel Mark goes quicker with a 15.7, so the top 3 separated by only a 10th. There's a couple of more guys. Mr. BT goes quicker, so it's not a case of who could get their lap in earlier. He has gone quicker with a 15.4. That's a very good lap. A 10th clear. As Jerome is still out there setting his lap. He's going to be the last to set a lap.
Oh, apologies. I'm back. It took a bit longer than expected there. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. Couple of laps down. Jerome only P6.
Have I missed anything? Any spins or?
ESW had a big spin on his outlap. Turn 4. I say spin. He completely drifted through turn 4. Somehow held the car. And I don't know if that affected his lap
as well. There, I think. Oh, is that him now? Oh, that is him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's letting everyone by. Hobbsy invalidated, I think. Bailiff went straight back into the pits. So I don't know if he damaged his car or something on his quali lap. He went straight back into the pits and is out of sync now, setting an out lap. So
just got a bit of information from J. Luke and Fandango. Of course, both missed out of a Q3 place, and they both tried going on the mediums to try and get through on them. And then the rain came a bit earlier than expected, and it kind of screwed them over a little bit there. So it's unfortunate, but that can happen, can't it? If you try and risk it, you don't necessarily always get rewarded.
No, and that's what can happen. Nathan's just gone quickest. We've seen him get a couple of poles this season, and he's thing about the Inters as well is that they don't really lose much life in the tyre, so it's not like a usual quali where you jump on the softs, you get one lap to put them in, you might have to change tyre. These guys can just keep on going round and round on these Inters and just find grip, find confidence in the conditions and just set faster laps. So I mean, we could see pole position changing every lap as these guys find grip and get a little bit more confident with the cars.
A lot of traffic in sector 2 as well, Matt. 2 Ferraris together, Bailiff in the mix as well there. Is that a Williams, I believe, as well, not too far ahead. So there's a lot of traffic on trackers. ESW loses it again. He's stuck right behind Bailiff, and the problem with the intermediate weather, Matt, as well, is no DRS. So if he's stuck behind somebody, it's tough, really.
It is, and I think Bailiff is trying to set a lap actually. I mean, just to get through to Q3 is an unbelievable achievement. I'm battling Bailiff in Tier 4 at the moment for the championship in CRL, and he's starting to scare me a little bit with his pace. Seeing how good he's doing tonight as well is a little bit scary, but Nathan's just gone even quicker. As I say, these drivers are just getting quicker. Bailiff does put a 16.7 in. He's just behind ESW, to be fair.
Doing a good job there. Really good job. It's a shootout now, isn't it? It's wide open, you know, and setting that little bit quicker pace there, taking the P1 spot. I'll tell you something, Williams looking good tonight as well, with a reserve of Mr. BT joining Nathan. Williams looking like a really strong team tonight in the qualifying stages. And is it Is Nathan going to let Mr. BT go past him here? Because they're both on laps, and BT looks a lot quicker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I tell you something, Nathan's not letting him go.
Oh!
And he made a goal. Yeah.
They're getting each other's way a little bit there.
Well, we mentioned this before, Matt, didn't we? When your teammates, it's a little bit different, but when you're a reserve driver, there's not really any loyalties. I mean, you should be letting people go past you in quali.
He's just let Nathan through, actually.
Ariel, Nathan. The Ariel boy's making all the noise because he's gone quicker than your Owen. The hedge racing debutant.
Mr. BT's just let Nathan go, actually. Yeah, interesting. But Nathan's going again. Maybe there was a bit of a cool down lap there, actually. Mr. BT is, he's dropped right off track. I think he's letting everyone by. Is he going to the pits? Because he was on the grass there, so his tyres won't be. And yeah, I think he might have run out of fuel, actually, Mr. BT. His fuel thing's flashing red, so. He's has he got time to set another lap? I don't know what's left because the yellow flags.
I believe about 4.5 minutes. I think I just clocked on my screen. But I mean, at 4 minutes, there you go. J-Lo Mag's kind of quickly running out of time now. Very, very quickly running out of time now. 4 minutes to go, and to get into the lobby, it's not long at all. Quick couple of facts, Matt, with a bit of a breather about the Brazilian Grand Prix. Of course, it's a race first held in 1972. A track length of 4.3 kilometres, 15 turns, 71 laps of a full race. Of course, a little bit different here. We're not doing 71 laps tonight. Don't worry about that. We're doing 36 laps. A race record of 1 minute 10.5 set by Valtteri Bottas in 2018. Of course, last year it was won by Lewis Hamilton, who didn't start first. Did he start sixth or maybe even lower on that occasion? I remember him starting towards the midfield, wasn't it? I swear he did, and he was just picking people off for fun.
He started, I think he was near the back, and then he got up to 5th in the sprint race, and then had a 5+ grid penalty, so he dropped to 10th for the actual race, and then somehow won from 10th. It was one of the best drives I've ever seen. He literally, it was like he was driving on the F1 game against like 0% AI. It was ridiculous.
Well, Matt, there's a Mercedes in 10th at the moment. Could it happen in real life?
Yeah. Well, that would scare me.
Game.
If Bailiff could do that, that would terrify me. To be fair. He needs to stop getting quicker. He needs to stop getting quicker because he's worrying me a little bit in the CRL.
Well, there you go. Pressure on you in Cone then.
Yeah.
And he's doing a good job tonight. He's doing every order tonight, in there with the big boys.
He is. I'd love to know what he's been having for his breakfast, actually. I think he's been having whatever Riordan was having at the start of the season.
It's Ariel versus CRL tonight, isn't it? With an ESW in the mix as well.
It is. Ooh,
well, you're all retired. In the pits?
Are they? Does he not have time?
ESW also retired.
Does he not
have 2 minutes? He'd have got round, wouldn't he? ESW retired on track. I'm watching him. Which is a strange one. I don't know why ESW JR retired on track. That is penalty worthy. That is a strange one. I have no idea. I'm a bit lost with that. I'm a bit confused with that. I must admit, I am a little bit confused. But this rain is battered it down, Matt. It's getting worse.
It is getting worse, and that makes you think, can these guys go any quicker? I'm on board with Ariel Nathan. Has he got Paul locked out at the minute? I think Jerome maybe doesn't think he'll go any quicker. Maybe Jerome knows that the weather's just getting worse. I mean, it could be wet, full wets, to be fair.
Easily.
DC as well. I mean, do these guys think that the track's just...
Not going to improve, are you?
No, maybe not. I think Nathan's going to try it just because I think he wants to get ahead of Jerome in terms of keeping his title fight alive. But it does look...
Don't forget, P1 and P2 get points, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So at the moment, Ariel Nathan's getting his first ever points in Edge Racing League. Jerome's getting a point closer to the championship. 2 points for P1 in Q3 and a point for P2 in Q3. Hobbs is also going to try and tackle up. He's currently down in 8th at the moment with his standby reserve teammate on for pole. As it stands, can Hobbsy improve on the 1 minute 15.5 that he has previously set, or is it going to be P8 at best? I mean, this rain, Matt, is getting worse and worse, like you say. We're not for our full wets at all here now. In comparison to how it was a few minutes ago, it's going to be very, very high. Hobbs is already 2 tenths down on his time, so he's going to spin. He's going to lose the car. He has lost the car! Oh! There you go. And that just pretty much proves to me That's you're not going to improve your lap time here at all. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
No, Nathan's down on his time as well. I think he's going to try and see if he can find something. He's not, they're not down by a lot, but yeah, that car's.
Not enough. Is it an opposite middle of the track? It's
No,
still there.
I don't think he's ghosted, has he?
Aston Martin up as well here. Mark's in the middle of the track as well. What is going on? What is going on?
It's like Dodgems, isn't it? Well, yeah, you can tell Nathan's.
I think Ariel and Nathan will be sat there now thinking, I've got pole here. The rain's helped me out a lot. There wasn't much. I mean, look at Nathan and the SW's time. They both got the same time, 15.2. I didn't even realise that.
Oh my god, they have, yeah.
Exactly the same time. That's ridiculous. But Nathan must have set the time first, so he keeps that P3. Again, Nathan's nearly down by a second. He's not going to improve it. This sector 3 is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's cars all over the place.
Yeah,
the pole sitter's off track as well. It's it's definitely too
I think Nathan's going to come into the pit. He's going to try it. He's going to at least get a time in, but he's not going to improve on it, is he? Nowhere near. Stays P3. I'm off the track. And Ariel is into the pit. So that's Q3 over, man. I don't think we're going to see Vipers get out J Lawler tonight, which is a shame. I think they've run out of time to join, which is a real shame, really.
Could cost them in the fight for P3 in the championship as well. What is it? Are they in another race or?
They're actually on a pro clubs tournament and they thought they'd make it in time. So it's poor from them two. Two of the stewards as well, Matt. You know what I mean? Two former champions have picked pro clubs over this. Poor behaviour.
Absolutely disgrace that, innit?
But Ariel Nathan, first ever race in the league, gets pole, and Owen gets a point close to the championship as he picks up a point. It's good for Alfa Romeo though. That 2 points. They need that. They needed them.
They do, and to be fair, Williams and Aston Martin, they're the two top they're the top two in the championship. Look at them; they've got two teams both drivers in the top. It is Williams and Aston Martin are the two fighting for the constructors, you could say, and they've got all 4 drivers in the top 6. That could be interesting.
There you go. Interesting. So a couple of penalty points then for J Law and Vipers Ken for not turning up. Naughty.
Bloody disgraceful not turning up, innit? Shocking.
Poor behaviour.
We've got Nathan and Jerome though, second and third, going into turn 1. That could get interesting, couldn't it? The top 2 in the championship.
I'll tell you something as well. Haas are third in the championship, Matt, but no drivers tonight. That's a shame. That's a real shame, really. That's happened. Real shame.
It is. It's a big chance for Williams and Aston Martin to just pull away, extend that gap, and then it could just be a fight between them 2 teams for the constructors as well.
Wide open, but the lowest turnout of the season today. 16's not a terrible turnout. Don't get me wrong. It's not drastic, but we want to be aiming for 4 grids every week. I don't mind 1 or 2 missing. Things happen and that's fair enough. But you've got to remember tonight I had 6 reserves, so only 10 of the 20. But not including J Bulls, who of course had a race ban, have turned up, which is a little bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think obviously next season, hopefully, a lot of these reserves. The positive is a lot of the reserves have come in and really, really shown how good they are, and I think.
Look at Jacques Prix, how he started in the reserves. He struggled to get in full time, but as a reserve, he was brilliant.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it just shows. It'll just give you an idea of, which drivers, want to be here every week, and if I think there's a lot of reserves that could have a full time seat next season, and I think the standard of the league next season could be really good. I don't think there'll be a clear championship winner like there might be this season. If we can get a couple of these guys in for the next one, it could be a really good season next year, or next game, I guess.
I completely agree. We are here for round number 9 of season 5 for the 5th ever Brazilian Grand Prix in Edge Racing League. We've seen Chris Panda win here, we've seen Brewer win here, we've seen Jay Luke win here. Who will add their name to that list tonight? Well, will Jay Luke win here for a 3rd time in 5 seasons? Who knows? But I'm looking at the tyre strategy, and 11 of the... that is awful. 13 of the 16 on track have opted for the soft, whereas Liam, Jay Luke and Jack Friddy have opted for the mediums. It's a real shame, as I mentioned, that half of the full-time grid have not made it tonight. It's not good, don't want to see it, but hopefully it's a one-off, and from next week we are back to full strength. But let's respect and give these 16 drivers the recognition, that the respect. Let's give them the screen time that they deserve, because without these 16 drivers, it wouldn't be a race tonight. And hopefully from next week we are back to a full grid, or as close to a full grid as physically possible, Matt. But let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah, I think we could be in for a feisty race. I really do. I think there's so many good drivers around the top 10. I think it's going to be really close, and there's going to be some good battles. And then you've got the likes of J. Luke, KXI, Fandango, Liam as well. Outside the top 10, really quick drivers as well, who could fight their way through. So,
on plus side, Matt, it gives more drivers a chance to get some points, so there being less people on the grid. So the boys at Ariel have got a chance tonight to really get a few points for themselves and for the constructor as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do this. Round number 9 of season 5. It is the 5th ever Brazilian Grand Prix in Edge Racing League, and we are underway for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a good start for ESW, who's already wheel to wheel with Williams and Nathan into turn 1. Breaks late and has got the move done, but here comes Mark out of nowhere that sweeps past them both. What a move by Ariel. Mark, who saw a gap. This contact now between ESW and Mr. BT. Hobbs, he's had a good start as well at one place.
Oh, there's a massive crash at the back. Oh, there's a massive front wing. J. Luke's got no front wing. AJ has got no front wing. Oh, there was a huge crash. I got it on stream. I can't see exactly what happened, but I don't know if someone outbroke themselves and whacked the back of another car. But there was a few front wings flying about there.
Drama on that one.
Wow.
Drama on that one in Brazil. Yeah, AJ down 8, the biggest loser by a mile. J. Luke down 2 as well, the biggest winner, KXI, up from 16th to 12th. So a good start for the Alpha Tauri driver. We are on the way. It was only a VSC, which is not good news. Matt, for AJ and J. Luke, with no wings, they're going to lose a lot of time now on the track. As Jack Pretty, what a move on the outside of Fandango. I caught that on my screen. That was superb from Jack Pretty to get himself up another position round the outside of Fandango on the sharp right-hander. That was brilliant from the Alpine driver. What a move. As Fandango actually pitting, he is. So he got involved as well in that. Double McLaren pit stop. Jay is going to wait even longer. It's going to be a double stack at McLaren. Oh, no. Oh, no. AJ's retired in the pits as well. It's all going off.
There's a massive battle as well. You go down to P10. DC's got the little one, Craig, KXI. They're going 2x2 into turn 4. And DC and Little One are still battling it out as Little One goes down the inside. DC's still there. Is he going to keep it in? Is he going to try and chuck it? No, he sensibly backs out. That's the right decision.
I tell you what, that corner worries me. You remember me and Cam on my title winning night when I had a collision with an Alpha Romeo driver.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Drone. It took me out. EDNF, not me. Okay. But yeah, it gives me sweats, that corner. But AJ, couple of podiums in recent weeks. He's had a really good run of form, AJ. But on that one, maybe, I'm guessing, Matt, a double McLaren collision with Fandango and J. because they both pitted as well. So maybe AJ was in a McLaren sandwich there.
I very much think that could be the case. Liam's just got an unbelievable exit.
That was a good move.
Looks like it's getting DC. DC could lose it.
Coming back, though.
He could. Oh, look at this. He could lose a couple of positions.
Sloppy mediums.
KXI sat behind these two. Oh, Kotanak!
No! And he's KXI's end plate into the back of DC. That's so unlucky. For KXI's had a really good start to race. ESW getting past Hobbsy. I said there's only 16 on track, but the battles are superb. It's a great fight. As the Aston Martin team are hunting down the Alfa Romeo. Williams not too far behind either. It's a great team battle here, as Nathan's got 2 Williams and Aston Martins right behind them. The gap them, Matt, is quite big down to the Ferrari.
Ooh,
well, that was so unfortunate on KXI. Someone come off there. It's
Bailiff, yeah.
Gives us pushing away to Little One, but you've got to feel for KXI, man. He's had such a good start to the race from last on the grid. He was just caught up in that scrap between DC and I can't remember who it was now. Was it DC and who was it?
Was it Liam?
Liam, it was Liam, yeah. And KXI loses an end play, which is so unfortunate. Look at this. The Aston Martins have got a DRS train on Nathan. It's 3 wide pretty much into turn 1. The Ariel boys and the top 3 battling it out for the win.
Yeah, he's
ridiculous.
He's under some pressure, isn't he? He's got 2 Aston Martins flying at him. But KXI so unlucky there. He was literally,
so unfortunate.
He was just in the wrong place at the the wrong time.
Oh, New Rowan nearly goes into the back. Oh, of Nathan, that could invite his teammates from his own top of the championship in a battle here with two reserve drivers. The yellow flag well, looks like Bailiff's had a bit of an off.
Yeah, I think he's.
But you've got two reserves and the championship leader battling it out as BT gets penalty for a corner cut. I tell you what, Matt, there's not as many cars on track as we'd hoped for, but the entertainment is superb. What a first few laps this has been.
Oh, the top three are absolutely flying. Nathan needs to get a little bit closer to maybe help the other Nathan out, actually, because the two Aston Martins look fierce, don't they? They look like they are absolutely hunting down Ariel. Nathan.
On Nathan, and I think our championship leader may have the race lead here as he breezes past him. Could Nathan be under pressure from the other Aston Martin? Not just yet, but Mark is waiting patient, and the gap already down to Nathan is massive. Nathan's under pressure as well from his teammate and the SW. So there's three battling for the top three. He's three battling for fourth as well. Two Williams and a Ferrari. This is fantastic. Another yellow flag. It's a McLaren. It's J. Luke, a two-time winner here. What a shocking start today. He's not going to win tonight, is he?
No,
After
he's
two-time wins in this league. He's not going to win tonight.
He's on the hards. I don't think the hards are great around this track. I just think that maybe they've not got up to temperature, and he's had a bit of a spin. Bailiff's on the hards as well. They're not the greatest tyre until they get up to temperature, so I think he's just spanned the car there.
Our championship leader, your Owen, being made to work for a win tonight by two reserves. Nathan and Matt making their H Racing League debut tonight. They're doing everything they can to put pressure on your Owen and stop him in the championship fight. As Bailey had such a good start to the race, it's turned into a bit of a nightmare on his first permanent race in the Mercedes seat. The only Mercedes driver on track tonight, due to J. Lowell not making the race. But the top three battling, to be fair, fourth down sixth as well. It is superb as Nathan's under pressure from his teammate, Mr. BT, and also the Ferrari, the SW as well.
It's interesting.
Into turn one we go, and BT gets him. Williams past Williams.
Nathan will not want that for the championship, will he?
We've seen this in quality, didn't we, Matt? These two going at it. They weren't friendly, were they? They weren't friendly at all. Can Nathan come back? But look at the SW on Nathan. Nathan blew two faces here in two corners. What a fight. Look at the fight of the top three as well. Who do you watch? Who do you watch here? This is mental stuff. The battle not too far down either, and it's Craig and Little One. And these two are also here as well. This is mental. This battle's all over the show. As Little One looking for me on the inside of Craig, there's a little bit of contact there between the Red Bull and the Alpine. The reserve Red Bull, who got a podium and a driver of the day performance in his first ever race last week against the Little One for that P8 spot. But towards the front, this is mental. Who do you watch? Who do you watch out of this lot?
KXI and Fandango are having a battle into turn 4 as well. It's there's battles absolutely
going on.
I think J. Luke's just got past.
Oh, Bailiff in the pits. Oh no, in the laps already.
Wonder if he's retiring. Look at ESW. He's trying to drag Nathan. Is Nathan going to drop another position? Not quite. I think the DRS from his teammates just kept him ahead. But yeah, Nathan JB's not looking too comfortable out there. I don't know if he's suffering tyre temps maybe, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace of his teammate. All the front three who've just absolutely they've took off, haven't they?
If you're hobbling seventh, it's not too bad to be fair. Clear track, just keep yourself on track, knowing that there's two freeway battles in front of you, and the mistakes bound to happen.
Liam and Little One a wheel again. Liam's obviously on the slightly harder tyre, but
I think Little One's got him on the inside, but Liam's going to come back at him and get the place back. There's more contact. What a fight! And as Little One got the place, he breaks it. Liam for the switch.
What a switch!
What a move! Little One's going to come back at it on the inside. This is ridiculous. Liam's going to keep it for now. Little One going to come back on the inside. He is. He is. But he's going to go. Is he going to get it? No way. He has as well. But he's coming on the inside. What is going on? What a battle between the Red Bull of Liam and the Alpine of Little One. They swapped about 5 times there.
They're going to swap again.
Here comes ESW on Nathan, and he gets him. Nathan's going to try and come back though, but I think ESW's got the job done. He's made contact with Nathan though, and go off the track, and that could invite Nathan for a move back on him. I think it will do. He'll get DRS. Will ESW get DRS as well? Yes, he will. No, he won't. So Nathan's going to get the place back on him there.
These battles are unbelievable, aren't they? Absolutely unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. Look at Fandango and KXI. For 12th. This is for 12th. Here comes Fandango and KXI and down the run down to turn 1. Are you going to get him? This is ridiculous stuff, this. Absolutely mental stuff. What's a race?
KXI's trying to take a sharper line into turn 1. He's going to get the DRS. He's got his ERS pinned already. And I think he might have the exit. Fandango, he's going defensive. He's holding the line. And I think he is just going to stay ahead of KXI. What a battle.
Little one and Craig are at it again here in the same spot on the track.
Little one
and are Craig's mediums starting to get into life now, and Little one's soft starting to die off? You wonder.
Yeah,
You wonder are the mediums becoming the better tyre all of a sudden.
It's not going to be helping Craig's process. Oh, Nathan's
Look at
in
the
there.
top 3. He's 4/10, isn't it? Look at these top 3. This is mental.
Here comes Liam again. Is he going to try it round the outside? Not quite.
Nathan's pitted. Is it for a new wing as well? It's not. An earlier pit stop for the mediums for Nathan. That's interesting. That'll be interesting.
Going for the undercut. It's Liam versus
Here
Little
comes
One.
Nathan on your own for the race lead as well. There's your look. This is just ridiculous stuff. I can't keep up with this. Has Liam got it on Little One? I think he has, hasn't he? Yeah, he has. Liam got 5, to be fair. Another driver day performance incoming for Hey, fair play to Jack Pretty, though. Up 5 places in 15th to 10th. Great start to the race for him.
Fantastic start of the race. I mean, I think Nathan, he's just gone for I think he was involved in such a battle. I think he thought, I'm losing out too much time. Get out of this battle and try and just undercut everyone else.
These top 3 are battling that hard. The ESW and Mr. BT are not a million miles away behind anymore.
No, you're
right.
right.
To reel him in a little bit. Is that Jay Luke about to get lapped? Never thought I'd say that. He's not far off, is he, at all? On lap 9 from being lapped.
No, he isn't. He isn't at all. The top 3, I mean, that's the unbelievable pace that they're setting. Mr. BT, of course, could catch them, but he's got a penalty. That's the only problem that he's got at the moment. I think we might be seeing Little One versus Liam again. It will be hurting Little One's tyres more than Liam's, as Nathan is so close to Jerome. Sector 2. He's not going to... No, I don't think he is. He's sensibly... I think he sees that that's not the corner to chuck it down the inside at all.
Lap 10 of round number 9 in season 5 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a race covered by a lot of reserves tonight, but the reserves are doing a fantastic job all across the track. 4 our top 5 at the moment are reserve drivers. That is incredible, by the way. Yeronin first is the only full-time driver in the top 5, which is mental. Absolutely mental stuff.
And I'm wondering if Jerome might get a bit of DRS from the lapped car that might just keep him ahead. Ariel Nathan is using everything. He's got a bit of ERS out the exit. DRS as well. He's closing in on Jerome. Is he going to dive?
Here he comes.
Doesn't.
No.
He's waiting for the right moment. But Jerome's going to get DRS off J. Luke soon. And that might just keep him ahead.
This is mental stuff. Here comes Nathan again with DRS. He's reeling in Jeroen. Mark's not too far behind, no, but he's losing a little bit of time on the top 2 all of a sudden. But for now, Nathan stays behind Jeroen, but he's right on his tail. This is a battle you cannot take your eyes off. It reminds me of China, Mark, when there was a 3-horse battle for the win there. But it involved Jeroen, but with 2 other drivers, Jay Lawler and Nathan tonight. It's the other Nathan and Ariel Mark. And they're going to be due for medium soon, aren't they? These softs are going to start dying off, surely.
Yeah, especially when they're pushing as hard as this, and I think because they're so clever, like they're so close on pace, I can't see a reason why these 3 won't be battling for the race win at the end of the race. I mean, Ariel Nathan, he's been battling 2 Aston Martins all race, so he's done unbelievably well. I think Jerome is going to get DRS from the lapped car, and that's really going to help him stay ahead. So J. Luke's doing him a bit of a favour, actually.
Yeah, I think J. Luke's maybe just saved Jeroen here. Quite possible to save him for P1 for now. I think Jay Luke's in real danger of getting lapped. He's just trying to fight for his life, isn't he? But it's going to happen, isn't it? As ESW, the next one's coming to the pits, Matt, for his set of mediums. And Nathan and ESW, the 2 of the top 6 that are pitted for the medium tyre.
It's going to be interesting to see where they come out compared to the top guys, and if they might undercut them. Obviously, Nathan's pitted a lot earlier, so his tyres are going to be struggling at the end. But you know, he could be putting much quicker laps in P9. So I mean, he could undercut quite a few drivers if he's putting in consistent laps.
These alone, aren't they? I think Jeroen this time could be in a bit of trouble because there's no J. Luke in front of Jeroen to give him DRS, and Mark and Nathan are still right on his tail. KXI gets a move on Fandango. That's another good little battle between KXI and Fandango for that P12 spot. Potentially still points for the 2 of them. in the latter stages of this race. Jerome's got a good exit though. Could that be enough for him to keep his place in the lead?
He's pitting. He's pitting.
pitting.
Oh, and Nathan's followed him
Mark's
in.
going to stay, isn't he?
Nathan's followed him
He's
in.
racing into the pits. Racing into the pits.
Oh, BT's got another penalty.
BT's got a penalty in the pit lane.
I'm surprised by that.
So Mark knows now he's got to get his foot down here, Mark. He's got to get his foot down and get a good lap in. He knows he couldn't pit, Mark, because his teammate pitted. So, where is Nathan then? Here comes Nathan now, approaching turn 1. He's going to be nowhere near, is he? Nowhere near. Nah. Oh, no, he's nowhere near, is he?
He might have closed up though. He might have closed up a little bit. He's jumped his teammate.
He's got to pass his teammate.
Yeah. He's jumped his teammate, so he's gained a position.
Yeah, so we got to There's a yellow flag on track. That looks like J-Luke. J-Luke has already been lapped, of course, in a wall. So at the moment, Mark's going to pit now as well. I mean, Mark Hobbsy, Little One and DC on the softs yet to pit. Their pit's not going to be very, very soon. Maybe now for Mark, because he got a good enough in lap to try and potentially jump the two medium runners of Jeroen and Nathan. Let's find out. Does Mark pit or does he stick on the softs? Let's have a look.
He's got to react. Yeah.
Just pits. Let's see. Let's see them.
He's got to react. He just slows it down. It was interesting to see the pit between Ariel, Nathan and Jeroen, because I thought Nathan would have done whatever the opposite of what Jeroen was going to do. Obviously, he must have committed to the pits. And he tried to actually overtake Jeroen into the pits. And I don't know how close he was to speed in the pit lane, but he wiped the bollard out trying to get by. So, yeah, I don't think he
comes Matt. It's not going to be much in it again, Matt, at all. He's going to be behind him, isn't he? But not by a million miles.
Is he going to lose
not
out?
Not much in it at all.
Is he going to lose out to Mr. BT? No, he isn't. So Mark is back out, and Nathan's right on the back of Jeroen, actually. So this battle is going to just continue, and it's going to go all the way, I think.
On we go, lap 14. It's been a mental first 40 laps. We've had a VSC and one DNF. But other than that, we've seen some fantastic close contact racing. Yellow flag now. Looks like J. Luke, and to be fair, it's getting worse and worse. J. Luke's having a nightmare, isn't he? An absolute nightmare.
Yeah, he's getting lapped, isn't he? That's it's a shame for him. Night. Liam, though, out front, obviously starting on the mediums. Just think what a safety car could do for him right now.
Yeah.
That's what I think he's trying to do. Go along, hope for a safety car, and jump a couple of places through that.
We've seen a safety car ruin a Red Bull race today, didn't we? in Perez. Let's see what it does to Liam. But it's been a mental race so far. It's Nathan Jeroen once again! So close to making contact into turn 1, but Jeroen's still holding him off for now. This is ridiculous stuff.
Jeroen's just he's so good through Jeroen's just so good through the S's. He really is unbelievable through the S's, and that's just what's keeping him ahead of Nathan. Even with DRS, he's just not close enough on the exit of the S's to get him into turn 4. Jeroen must be a nightmare to try and overtake, because he's such a good driver as it is, but he uses his ERS unbelievably well. Like he's on 83% ERS. Which is incredible. Nathan behind's on 35, so Jeroen's just so good with his ERS management. He almost loses the back end.
Ooh, that's a wobble. That's going to cost him.
Ooh.
I mean, will Jeroen get DRS off Little One? I think he might do.
That could save him again.
So he's been saved again by the DRS here. I think Jeroen again going to get saved. J-Luke gets the penalty. Does he get the DRS off Little One? He does.
Look how close Nathan
is. In the pit as well.
Look how close Nathan is. I think J-Luke's had another spin. Or is it... Safety car!
Oh, J-Luke's off the track in a wall. And you also know that he's a lap car. Did he need to do that? Or did he just pit and retire? Maybe that's just me thinking like that, but I don't know. As a lap car, do you need to carry on?
Well...
I wouldn't carry on personally, but I don't know.
This is the thing. Liam has stayed out, but it's come at a bad time for him because he can't jump on softs because there's still 20 laps left. So... Yeah. It's not going to work for him. He can't jump on hards.
It's gone about 5 laps too early, hasn't it, that safety car?
Yeah, that's a shame for him. Because he's got to pit, and the guys behind him don't. So the pack's going to get back together, and then if Liam pits, he's going to drop all the way back through the pack, isn't he? So.
Is it just Bailiff? I mean, Bailiff, unfortunately for Bailiff here, it's only Liam who's lapped him, I think. It is. It's not.
He's going to
ahead of
get.
everyone else.
He's going to get
That's
stuck.
so
in the-
unfortunate.
Yeah.
He needs Liam to pit, but I don't think he will. Unless he picks some more mediums, maybe. Bailey will be open. He does pit.
He's going to
He
pit, but
does pit.
on what
So
tyre?
Bailey's been saved. Bailey's back in the race. Oh, he's pitting. No, he's not. No, what's he doing?
Bailey,
What's he
no!
doing?
No, Bailey, what are
Why?
you doing?
Why has he done that? He's back in the race.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Bailiff.
Liam's gambled on the softs.
Oh.
This-
BT's pitting as well. Is that for softs? To be fair, BT's got a penalty, isn't he? He's doing that in the pits, isn't he? That's smart. That is smart, to be fair.
He may as well. Is he going to change his tyres? He's just putting another set of mediums on, I think.
Wait, what's happened at the front? Has Nathan just got past Mark? Wait, what happened then? They changed.
I think it might have been
That was strange.
briefly, yeah.
Oh, I wonder if Bailiff didn't know.
He can't have, because he could have unlapped
Wait, Bailiff
himself.
isn't lapped. He's not lapped, is he? He's not lapped. Huh? Wait, what? On my screen, he's not lapped anymore.
I have no idea.
Or
'cause
is he?
there's,
He's not ghosting, is he? So
there's a Ferrari behind him. So it depends. We'll see what happens when he
I thought
catches.
if you ghost, so if you lapped, you ghost, don't you?
Is he going to catch
Oh yeah,
the
he
pack?
is lapped because he is lapped. He is lapped. Yeah, he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Danny's got a 3
I wonder,
second
if, I
penalty.
wonder,
on the
I wonder if
safety
he
car.
knew Bailiff. I wonder if he knew that he could have stayed out, and then pitted later on when you've been unlapped. I wonder if he didn't know.
He can't have. Yeah, because
He would have got away, wouldn't he?
it's an awful glitch because I
He's
think
going to try. He's going to try and lap himself here, but he's not getting DSQ'd.
I
He's
think
just gone past a little one. It's
I
not
think
going to go. It's not going to end well. This.
I think Scotty tried that, didn't he? You know,
A couple of weeks ago in
and
Imola.
he got disqualified. Yeah.
Well, Bailey's just gone past little one and looks to have got away with it, which is very bizarre.
Such a crap glitch, though, isn't it? That you can't
Yes.
unlap
Is he going
yourself.
to try it again? He's just gone past little one, which is an interesting one, though.
He's trying
He's going
it.
to try it again. He's going past Hobbsy. He's going past the mob. He's got to be careful, don't make contact, though. So he's got to be careful of Bailiff.
No,
yeah,
he's
you can see already it's not happening, is it?
he's backing off because I think he's getting a warning. It's
That's
so
a shame.
awful because you've got to like unlap yourself on pure pace and then you're just stuck. Yeah, your race is over basically. It's really
Yeah, it's a real
annoying. that.
shame. He's going to keep trying it. I know how he feels. It is really annoying. Isn't it? You want to get out, don't you? But,
It almost
he's gotta
happened
be
to me.
careful. He doesn't make any he's not ghosted on my screen either, so he's got to be careful here. He doesn't make any contact with anybody. Is he
Yeah.
ghosted on your screen?
He's trying, yeah, but I think he might have to back off. Yeah, he's backing off again.
It's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it? Because I swear they normally ghost when they've been lapped.
I think
On my screen, he's not ghosting.
he's trying again round the. I think he's trying to do it off track. He's ghosting now, so if you overtake off track, does the game not detect that you've?
He's just going to be careful because he's causing a bit of a pile-up behind him. You know, 'cause he keeps trying it all the time. He's got to be careful. You don't want to cause any sort of
Yeah,
collisions.
because the guys behind are battling for legitimate position.
Yeah.
So he's
Everyone else who's in the race, Jack Pretty in 13th hasn't been lapped, so everyone else is still in the mix. Just unfortunate, Bailey, that he's not. But here we go then. We're getting ready to go on lap 19 of this round number 9 race in season 5 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Owen looking to extend that surely unassailable championship lead. He's got 2 or 3 reserves behind him that want to beat him tonight, and even Nathan, his championship rival. So here we go. It's going to be a slow restart from Owen, a similar one to what we saw today in real life, but he's gone now,
Oh,
and
what
that's got Nathan sleeping. And that could be Mark's opportunity to make a move here. Mark got a better restart than Nathan in P2. Mark's going to try and break late. A little bit of contact between the two and 3. As Nathan for now holds off Mark, but Mark's going to come back in and get him. And Nathan fell asleep. And that could invite the SW Junior as well to get a move on him. Nathan from 2nd to potentially 4th in 2 corners. Waits for now, but Mark makes it an Aston Martin 1-2.
Yeah, he was right by Jeroen's side for most of that final corner, but Jeroen is just every safety car restart I've seen, he absolutely nails it. And now it's going to be interesting because
That spices it up a little bit. A penalty for Ariel Nathan, so it's not been a good start for him at all. He loses a place to Mark, and then gets what could be a really, really costly penalty.
It could. And harkening back to your earlier point with the Williams drivers, normally, I guess if this was Riordan and Giron, they'd stay 1-2 and they'd bring it home for the team. But Mark is a reserve.
No, it is.
So is he going to take the fight to Giron?
Does he want the win? He's got a hedge racing debut. He's going to go on that hit on the history books and get on the debut win. Liam, on the fresh softs for now, of course, flying past Nathan. He's one to look out for. Hobbsy and Little One go wheel to wheel. Little One gets the move done on Hobbsy up into P7.
Now, I think Liam could really reel a couple of the top drivers in, but how he's going to get them tyres to the end, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
Hobbsy's struggling here. He's got another place now to BT. First Little One, and now Mr. BT. Hobbsy dropping place in DC's. Not too far behind him in that final points fight as Liam again on the soft, making moves, hunting down that top three. Gets past ESW, and to be fair, for the next few laps, Matt, you back Liam on the fresh softs.
Yeah, all he needs really is another safety car just to calm the race down for 2 or 3 laps, and that might just help him get them softs to the end. But he's got to make the moves now. He's got to make the moves now.
Cruising.
Yeah, he's got to do it now. He's got to do it now because them tyres will not be nice if he takes them all the way to the end. They will be.
Especially when he's hammering them now, like you say, he's pushing, isn't he? I mean, he's taking great time. He's flew past the SW and he's hunting down that top three and making it a 4-race race at the moment here because he's right on the back of Nathan, who's not had a good restart at all, Nathan. We mentioned losing that place to Mark, picking up which could be a really, really costly penalty, and he's now got a very, very quick runner that's hunting, a very, very quick soft runner, should I say, that's hunting him down very quickly.
Yeah, I just worry he's going to get, because the top 3 are really quick, and I worry that he might get stuck in a bit of a DRS train. And that might just ruin his tyres. He's gonna have to get a really good exit out the final corner. He's gonna have to send it. He's trying to round the outside there. I mean, I know he's got.
Force it, isn't he?
Ooh.
Oh, is that Jack Pretty? Oh, that wasn't on. Wasn't on that. He's got it done, but it wasn't the greatest move. Nathan's gonna try and come back. This could get very ugly if we're not careful here between these two. No love lost. Oh, Nathan spun. Contact between Liam, you could just see it happening. You could just see it happening. And all of a sudden, Nathan, who's been in that top 3 battle for 21 laps, now right down into P12.
Mark's got Giron. Mark's got Giron.
He has. But Nathan there will not be happy. It wasn't on. It was not on at all, and that's going to cost Nathan massively now. Looks certain for a top 3 at least. Now, not even in the points. I mean, that penalty as well, Mark. That could be about the race completely.
I think it is. I mean, it's...
Oh, nearly hits Mark. Wow. And that's going to cost you Rowan. He's lost more time to Mark now. But yeah, I think that one for the Stewards, that Liam, it didn't look great between the two of them, did it? You could see it happening though.
Yeah, like I said, he did. I think he knew that he didn't want to get caught up in a DRS train. He knew he had to make moves. He knows he has to make the moves now while the tyres are still in a good nick. And Jerome's almost lost the car. Liam, I thought might. Jerome's gone wide. Liam's up and under.
He's gonna get him. He's gonna get him. We've seen Liam have a contact with someone last lap in this position. Not again, surely. Not again. Not again. Not again. Not again. Jerome's lost it. All of a sudden, Mark's flying at the front. He's gone. Marcus took off. As Jerome going to come back at Liam, his yellow flag on track looks like Bailiff as Jerome flies past Liam again to retain that P2. But Mark at the moment, I'd say his favourite at the moment. Matt looks quicker than Jerome.
He does. Liam's just disrupting Jerome's race, and this could allow Mark to get away.
Liam going to try and come back at him here.
Jerome does have DRS, I think, and that's just helped him stay ahead.
You're on a wobble again. Is it going to be a debut win for Matt in Headbig? For Aston Martin, it's great. It's mega points at the moment towards the title, but for Jeroen, it's not great. Is Liam going to try and force the move on the inside of Jeroen? It's the corner. He's making things very difficult for the championship leader here, and once again makes contact with him. He's going to try and make a move. I can see it. He is. And for now, gets it. But look at the pack behind it. The SW. He's reeling them in. He's doing Jeroen no favours this at all. As Liam for now gets ahead of Jeroen. ESW in the Ferrari, not too far behind neither now.
But how much damage is this going to cause Liam's tyres? I don't think.
Go for Mark here as well.
I don't think his softs are going to be in good nick
Close
at
to me.
all. But to be fair, you know, he was on mediums. The safety car come out at an awkward time. He either could have went hards and went conservative, but he's went for it. He's went aggressive.
Little one and BT, the wheel to wheel. This contact between the two of them. As Mark loses out to Liam, who now leads the race all of a sudden. He's got past them both. Little one and BT wheel to wheel again. It's a great battle. This is going to be. Oh my God!
Oh,
Very badly.
you don't want to send it down the inside of this corner. Oh no, BT's lost it!
BT spun the car. Oh, reset track. I saw that.
Oh,
no,
I did.
Naughty boy. That'll get submitted. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Yeah, that was on stream as well. Caught that on stream, so he might have thought he got away with that. Got it on stream.
I'm chat right now. You can't do that. You can't do that. I love the effort going for it, trying to get sneaky one in there, but not on me and Matt stream. You don't get away with stuff like that.
Not at all. Liam is pushing, by the way. He's used all his ERS. He's just trying to build as much of a gap as the Aston Martins have swapped places again.
Well, Matt's gone from first to third in one lap.
And Jerome is within DRS of Liam, which is crucial for him keeping ahead of his teammate. And the gap's coming down. And Liam's tyres starting to hit the cliff. They don't last too long around Brazil as it is. Never mind when he's battling.
Look, I'm going to come back at him though. But Hobbs, you mentioned Hobbs. He's done a good job tonight, Hobbs, hasn't he, Matt? In sixth so far. Kept his nose clean for now. I mean, he's got an Alpine and a Ferrari right behind him, but he's doing a good job so far, he's Hobbsy. Yeah,
it's been a solid drive from him actually. You said he needed a good drive, good points, and I think he might be able to get them as it stands.
Yeah. Still 11 laps to go, plenty of time, but it's Aston Martin 1-2. Oh, sorry, it's not Aston Martin 1-2. Apologies, Liam is first, but again, he can't have him getting them soft to the end, especially at the rate that he's pushing them. He's lost the car a little bit there as well.
Yeah, them tyres will be going off already. I think the mediums are going to be in a much better position, and he's going to have to try and somehow defend the lead. He's still got 11 laps to go as well. I think his charge to the front might be about to end.
Yeah, he's done a good job, of course. He had that big collision as well with Ariel Nathan, which I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at later on. But Euro's going to get DRS here, and potentially going to be his turn to take the race lead. It's like leapfrog. This race lead has changed all the time to double penalties there. I saw BT, and I think it may have been possibly Fandango as well, picking up some time penalties there. So not many in Brazil, but they are starting to keep a little bit. It's a great battle for sixth here as well between Hobbsy, Little One, and DC. Nathan not too far ahead of that pack either. As Ariel does get the fastest laps, you know, if Sleepdad comes out, he's back in the mix, but you can't help but feel he'll be a little bit annoyed as Liam gets a penalty, and that will not do him any favours at all. All that hard work that he's put in, Matt, could be thrown away with that penalty.
Advantage to the championship leader.
Hey, look, he's ESW though, Matt. We not really spoke about him, but he's in the mix as well. He's right in the mix.
He is. The yellow flag in Sector 1, that's where Ariel Nathan is.
Ariel Nathan. He's got the helmet on. He's got the helmet on. Lead ban. Not again. Why is he? Oh no, BP on track. Sure, not a safety car. He may get away with it because there's no one near him. That's what could save a safety car here, because there's no one near him. Because it looks like what happened? I mean, first of all, what is it with these Alfa Romeo drivers not wearing helmets? It's got to change.
It's shocking. Terrible in terms of safety, innit?
I wonder if Ariel's got no fuel. Oh, maybe not. No, he's going very slow though. Has he got damage? Something's up with him. He's got no helmet for a start, which ain't great, is it? But
no.
Mr. Big T becomes our third DNF of the evening.
Lucky there was no safety car there for a couple of the drivers out there. I mean, to be fair, I don't think a safety car's enough for Liam now anyway. With them penalties, I have no idea how he's going to get them soft to the end and have a 3-second lead. There's not many pens at all, so a safety car's went from being the best case scenario to the worst case scenario.
Well. He's about to get lap. Ariel thinks about to get lap, which is it's so. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not great, put it that way. He's been in the battle with these boys all race, and now he's got 2 corners where he can get in laps. I mean, that is so cruel. It's DC getting past Little One. It's a great battle here between Hobbsy, DC, and Little One. It's nice to see, Matt, that some of our permanent drivers are doing a good job tonight as well. We've mentioned a lot of reserves tonight, but Nathan, hopefully DC and Little One having a great battle.
Absolutely. KXI and Fandango seem to have been battling all race long as well. Obviously, Fandango reserving tonight. He has obviously reserved and done some good job helping me on comms as well. So I'd like to see him get a good result tonight as well. But yeah, as I was saying, safety cars went from being the best case scenario for Liam to helping him get them softs to the end to now probably the worst case scenario, because if the safety car comes out on them softs with pens, he could drop so far down the order if a safety car comes out. I don't know how he's going to take these to the end. I mean, he could even be at risk of a puncture if he's worked them tyres too hard. I mean, to be fair, he's keeping the gap. You know, he's still maintaining the gap, but I think it's a matter of time before Jerome gets him. It could happen now, actually, in turn 4.
7 laps to go here in round 9. Only 5 more race days after tonight's Grand Prix. So Jerome, I think, Stan's going to be getting closer and closer and closer by the week to becoming a 3rd ever champion, 5 seasons in this league, of course. Not over yet, but with him being 2nd tonight and Nathan only 5th. Let's go wide on the road off the track there! And that could invite Mark. I mean, it could have been a DNF for you, Owen.
Wow.
Could quite easily be a DNF for you. And I was like, maybe I just jinxed it a little bit. Laps of concentration. We saw that in Shire, didn't we, Matt, on the last lap when he lost the car?
Yeah.
Invited Jay Lawler and Nathan into the mix, and that's all it takes. That could have been a bit of a mix in the championship there. He's had a podium in every single race, Roll. That could have come to an end there. Luckily, he saved it.
Wow.
Still remains P2, but Mark has closed like up a bit on him now.
That was an... Ooh, I thought Liam had just pulled out a DRS. Has he?
He has for now. He has. And Mark's in DRS of your own. This could be interesting.
That one mistake
Here we go, then.
might cost him. Jerome's got plenty of ERS and he is absolutely rinsing the life out of it.
Save him, won't it?
And that's why ERS management is so important, because he will now have DRS on Liam.
It could have been a barrier there. You know, that could have been his podium run over quite easily.
Oh, man. That was
I think it stands, he's winning the race, isn't he?
Yeah.
Again, that championship tally is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's getting closer. I mean, it's not. It's 5 races to go, man. As it stands, it's not going to take 5 races. It'll be champion in 2 or 3 weeks at this pace. I mean, what are we? We're in Austria in 2 weeks for the sprint race. Maybe that could be your own night for the championship. Who knows? He's getting closer and closer. With only 5 races to go after tonight. I mean, it's not going to be long, is it? And even for Aston Martin, I mean, quite lucky to that Aston Martin that Riordan's not been here and they got Mark as the driver. Because if things weren't going well enough for Aston Martin this season, Mark's going to possibly bring home even more points for them, and they're going to extend their lead at the top as well. But there's still 6 laps to go, and there's still a chance for some ground rain, things to change.
There is, and talking about the constructors, we were saying how Williams were in the top 6 with Aston Martin. They could close the gap. Obviously, Mr. BT's retired. Nathan is only in 5th, so this could really pull Aston Martin away. We might be getting to the point where we're going to be creating graphics for, how long it's going to be and what results Jerome needs. He might literally be a win away.
Well, of course, there's no Hassan either. No Vipers Ken, no Jay Bill, so they're not going to get any points in the Constructors' Championship either. So it's a bit of a shame, really, for Hassan tonight that they've missed out there. But 5 laps to go, and for now, you're always on for the winners. Nathan, wheel Hobbsy here. Hobbsy going to try and take that P5 away from Nathan, which doesn't do any many favours. Rowan will be quite happy with that. Little One gets a penalty. Hobbsy lucky to have won a penalty there, but does get the job done on Nathan. And that will not do Nathan any favours, Matt, as he loses more points than you, Rowan.
Yeah, he's dropped to 6th now. That's going to...
DC's behind him as well.
That's going to make his championship hopes that little bit worse. I think Liam's getting helped by the fact that he might be getting DRS from a lapped car. Ironically, Ariel Nathan, the guy he actually spun out, I think he's getting DRS off him, but yeah, the penalty is still going to... Unless Jerome, I mean, his hope is Jerome picks up a penalty.
I think Mark will still want to beat Jerome here, though. He'll still want to get Air Racing debut win, won't he, Mark? He's got no notice to Jerome, has he? And they both... Ariel's drivers will be a bit of banter between the two of them as well. Mark will not want to give this up just yet as Nathan gets that P5 past Hobbsy. Look at these 3, though. Nathan, Hobbsy and DC. What a battle. This is for 5th. Little One's lost out on that battle a little bit because he was in the mix as well, but can DC make him even Hobbsy? Can Hobbsy go from 5th to 7th in one lap, potentially? What a battle between the Williams, the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari.
Hobbsy's went a bit wide there, but he's just going to keep it in. DC's right behind him. But he is going to
great battle.
keep P6. And the front three are still as they are. Maybe Jeroen's just happy to sit behind Liam because he knows he's, he just has to stay where he is within 3 seconds. Liam's done really well, by the way, to take these softs as long as he has. He's done really well, to be fair, and he still will have a podium, but ESW could get within them 3 seconds, and he could lose his podium completely, especially if he starts battling Jeroen.
Leader on Liam into turn 1. To be fair, backs off, and you don't blame him. But backing off, though, has invited Matt to get right behind him. I think Jeroen, if he didn't have penalties there, I think Jeroen would have gone for that move. But because he's protected by penalties, if DC gets past Hobbsy into turn 1 as well, Hobbsy gone from 5th, 7th in 1 lap. Here comes Mark, though. Mark on the inside of Jeroen, when he thought about it, he very nearly went for it as well. The three of them are getting very close together here. Matt, are we on for a repeat of Shiner? A 3-horse battle on the last lap?
We might be. Liam's...
I mean, Mark's reeling him in, Mark is reeling Jeroen in very quickly.
Mark's fighting for a race win with Liam's penalties, and like you say, Jeroen backing off is a risky thing. Maybe Jeroen's 1 penalty off. Ooh.
Jack Pruddy with a pretty bad spin.
Oh, no.
I don't know what's happened to Jack as a reserve. He was great. It's not quite worked out with the Alpine for him, has it?
No, it hasn't.
As a reserve. Maybe we should stick as a reserve. Oh, it's not a great exit from Mark, and that's could cost him again. Mark's running out of laps here to get past Jeroen. And Jeroen might get past Liam here. Liam's got the ass off, I think that was off Jack Pruddy.
It's just going to keep him ahead. It's just going to keep him ahead. Jeroen's happy to just sit there, I think. But
Mark's giving it his all. He's not giving up, is he? He's not giving up at all. Jack Pruddy's now retired on track. Is it on track? Oh, sorry, it's in the pits. Apologies, it's in the pits. Apologies, Jack. I was on track in the pits.
Jeroen's he's not going for it. He's backing off. Like Liam's going defensive to the inside. Jeroen's just like
so close to him though. 2.5 laps to go, and it's still anyone's game here for a race win. Nathan's still battling with Hobbsy and DC as well for P5. It is mental.
I wonder if Jeroen's maybe a penalty away from getting a 3-second penalty. That's why he's just wanting to take it really easy.
Quite possibly. Credit to Kate Final, Matt, who's in 10th. He's got a P10 in the bag, so he's pitting for soft to try and get another point past this lap. Fair play. I rate that.
Why not?
I rate that. He's 10th comfortably. Why not try and get the fast lap and get another point? Double your points tally. Love that. I mean, it's 2 laps to go. Is there still any hope for Mark to beat Jeroen? Look at Jeroen's fracture compared to Mark, though.
Yeah.
That's what favours Jeroen here, and he's still getting DRS from the Red Bull of Liam. Will Jeroen go for a move on Liam here? Again, backs off, and that's inviting Mark.
Yeah.
That's what's keeping Mark in the mix here, because Jeroen's backing off for a move on Liam. And it's keeping Mark right on the tail of him.
Mark's trying to use
all
his
ERS. Saving him.
Yeah.
Will Jeroen go for a move again here? He's not going to go for a silly move there. He doesn't need to, does he? But at the moment, he's keeping Mark in a very small contention of a last lap overtake. But I think Liam's there on Jeroen's battery does favour our champion leader to see out the win here. Liam's done a superb job on them softs.
Oh, yeah.
And to defend like he has as well is brilliant. I mean, those contacts, of course, with Nathan that we'll look at later on. There's still a great battle here between DC, Nathan, Hobbsy and Little One. Who all 4 of them, to be fair, have been superb tonight, and they're still battling for 5th. He has to be in the reserve, going to bring on possibly a P4. He's on his own now. Sunday driving home a P4. But the top 3, can Mark pull a last lap go on Jeroen and try and snatch the win? Or is it Jeroen's? I mean, Jeroen's going to go for a move this time, surely. He has to.
He's got to, yeah, he is.
I think that'll protect him now.
He's waited, hasn't he?
Mark's got to go for it. Mark's got to go for it. He does go for it. And Mark, if he gets the job done, will get DRS on Jeroen, and Jeroen won't get DRS. Or he will from Nathan. He will from Nathan. Jeroen's been saved.
He's made the move.
He didn't get DRS.
He's made the move at the perfect time. Like, what a time to make the move. Jeroen, he knew exactly what he was doing. That's so clever. Keeping it there until the last lap. Then he gets the move because he knew his teammate was right there behind him. That is just so clever. Honestly, what a timed move that was from Jeroen. That's why he's top of the championship. And Nathan does now get out of the way for him. And I think, yeah, that little move there has just kept his teammate out of reach. But it's going to be a 1-2 though for Aston Martin, which, yeah, is going to be unbelievable for them in the constructors.
It's been a superb race. Constant battles. No safety cars. Oh, sorry, there was one safety car tonight. Apologies. But on round on round number 9 of the season here in Brazil, with only 5 races to go. It's going to be Rowan who extends that lead even further at the top of the championship. He had to work for it tonight. There was a few reserves that made him sweat. Mark, Liam, even Ariel, Nathan for a lot of that race as well. But Rowan wins the race to extend that lead. Surely now an unassailable lead at the top as Nathan, JB, drops all the way to 7th.
Oh, yeah.
By DC and Hobbsy.
He's upside down.
Which in the end will suit Rowan even further because DC and Hobbsy both pip him to the positions on track. Little one 8th, and now does get a couple of points in 9th. Did KXI get fastest lap? Let's have a look. He didn't. Or did he now? He may have got it now at the end, potentially. But well done to Rowan. I mean, the reserve boys made him work for it, Matt, but Clash shone through in the end and he extended the lead at the top.
He's still come out on top. Yeah, it was just so clever seeing what he did because he could have overtaken at any point in the final 6, 7, 8 laps. And I think he knew that if he overtook him, his teammate would be right there to get him. And he thought, I'm going to overtake him on the last lap, and then I've got a gap to my teammate, and it worked perfectly. It's just clever, isn't it?
Rowan had some tough battles for that. The reserve boys made him work for it, but he extends his lead at the top of the championship. Well done to Mark and to Liam for now, who gets the podium. I'm sure the incident with Nathan will be looked into. Cole Racing League Nathan only 7th tonight from 3rd on the grid. He was pipped by the SW, by DC, by Hobbs. Yeah, I want to give Liam driver of the day, but I'm a little bit cautious of that incident with Nathan. So I'm going to give driver of the day today to
KXI did well to get up to 10th. I'm not too sure.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I think it's nice to give it. I think it's very common to give it to a front runner, isn't it? All the time. So let's give it to KXI tonight.
Yeah.
A couple of points. He's had a tough season on the wheel. He's gone from being a constructors winner to struggling this season. And AlphaTauri struggled as well, so that point will do them wonders. So I think that's a good shout.
Yeah. It would have been Liam, absolutely, I think. But
I was a little bit cautious with that, though.
Because he did well to get as high as he did and then hang on with the softs. He did really well. But
and of course there was no fastest lap point to that because it went to Nathan, but he didn't get in the points. So KSI went for it, but didn't get it in the end, which is a shame. But I think that's a nice shout, Max. I think it's so common to give it to a front runner, isn't it, all the time? You give it to a 1, 2, or 3 on the grid, but never do we give it to someone who came 10th. So I think it's nice to do that for a change.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah,
I rate that. I'm gonna put it in the chat now before I forget. So well done to KXI for a good solid drive, and to be fair, it's never easy to get points, especially with that grid. I mean, how tough is that grid? It's not easy at all. Give me 2 seconds. I think, Matt, we will leave the interviews tonight because it's a lot of reserve based.
Right.
It's been a bit sort of thingy, hasn't it, today? A bit sort of, I don't know, a bit strange, hasn't it, today? You know, not a full grid. A lot of reserves, weren't there, as well? So I think we'll leave interviews on this occasion and come back next week because I think it's very reserve based, and there's no point really in interviewing a reserve because I mean, I'm going to see Mark again this season. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a bit sort of. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I think we'll leave it tonight. I mean, I'm sticking here in Giroud every week, so it's nice to actually get a break from me.
He's probably sat there as well, going on another interview. Bloody hell.
As always, Matt, thank you very, very much. It's an absolute pleasure. And nice to be back with you after a couple of weeks' break. Really good to be back on commentary.
It was, absolutely. Where is it we are next week again, by the way?
We are,
Canada?
I believe, in Canada next week. We are Wall of Champions.
Ooh.
And a track that's known for rain. It can rain in Canada.
Yeah. That Wall of Champions could be be a killer for a couple of drivers.
Hopefully next week, back to a full grid, back to a grid mainly of full-time drivers. I don't know, I like reserves racing, I do, but you want to be seeing really the majority of the grid from full-time drivers. Things do happen now and then, and thank you to all the reserves that stepped in tonight and did a fantastic job for us. Thank you to everyone that made it, of course. It was a bit of a shame to only get 16 in the end, but we'll look into it from next week. I'm sure, I'm positive we'll have more than 16 looking. I'll do my absolute best to get a full grid, but only 5 races to go now, Matt. It's round 10 next week of 14. We're getting to the busy end of the season now, and your Owen's getting closer.
He is. I think it could be wrapped up pretty soon if he keeps going the way he is. But to be fair, you mentioned that with the reserves. If I was one of the full-time drivers who's maybe not had the best attendance this season, I'd be looking over my shoulder a little bit nervous and thinking, I could lose my seat. Some of the guys who've not rocked up for a few races, these. I mean, I started in the CRL as a reserve, and if you take your chance, you deserve a seat. So
Bailiff at the start of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, sorry, Bailiff wasn't Bailiff, was it? It was Jack Pretty, wasn't it? Then Bailiff, sorry.
Yeah.
They both did it, haven't they?
So fair play to these reserves. If they keep taking the chance like they are, then you could be looking over your shoulder and losing your seat. But it doesn't matter who the reserve is. Jeroen's just swatting them away anyway, isn't he?
100%, because season 6 won't be too far away, and we look into it. The attendance thing's a massive thing for season 6. I mean, season 6 probably won't be on this game. It'll be on the new F1 game. But you look into it. We look at attendance. We look at consistency. But attendance is a massive thing in every league. And if you're not here, then you don't deserve a seat. And if you're a reserve driver that turns up every week, like Jack Pretty did, like Bailiff did, then you'll get a seat. And only 5 races to go now. Season 5 is absolutely flown by. That's 9 rounds of 14 done. Just to give you the calendar very, very quickly before we go, it's a trip to Canada next week. Austria for the second sprint race of the season. That'll be a great race in Austria for the sprint race.
Yeah. Weather
Spain,
could be anything as well in Austria.
Oh yeah, tasty. Trip to Spain after that. Then Azerbaijan for what it will be a very interesting street circuit. And then it'll be probably, I don't want to predict the future, but it might be a nice little relaxing trip to his home Grand Prix for Euro in Netherlands. He can sit back, relax, and maybe start at the back and just enjoy it. Victory lap, the whole thing. But you never know. Strange things have happened. Things can change very, very quickly. But Matt, an absolute pleasure, mate, tonight as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, and it's good to be back coming with you. It was good fun.
It is indeed. We will see you all next Sunday night. Do not miss it. 9:30 start as always. We will be in Canada for season 5, round number 10, the Canadian Grand Prix. Do not miss it, and I promise you I'll have a full grid next week. Don't worry about that. But have a great week, and stay safe. Have fun.